Welcome back to our channel. Today we are talking about a question that almost every person in the world asks. How do we stay motivated all the time? Because we all have dreams. We all have goals. We all want to change our life. We all want to become better. But the biggest problem is not dreaming. The biggest problem is staying motivated. We feel motivated today, but tomorrow we feel tired. We feel motivated in the morning, but in the evening we feel lazy. We start strong, but slowly we stop and then we feel guilty. We feel angry at ourselves. We feel confused. We feel stuck. So the real question is, why does motivation disappear? And how can we keep it alive? Most people believe motivation is magic. They believe motivation appears suddenly and stays forever. But that is not true. Motivation is not magic. Motivation is a system. Motivation is a habit. Motivation is a mindset. Motivation does not come from outside. Motivation is built from inside. If we depend on videos, songs, quotes, or other people to motivate us, we will always feel empty, because external motivation is temporary. Internal motivation is permanent. Today in this video, we will learn how to build internal motivation so we can stay motivated not only for one day, not only for 1 week, but for our entire journey. We will talk about why motivation dies, how successful people stay motivated, how to build identity-based motivation, how to create daily motivation systems, how to protect motivation from negativity, how to restart motivation after failure. This is not about hype. This is about control. Because if we learn how to control motivation, we learn how to control our life. So let's begin the journey of how to stay motivated all the time. Part 1. Stop depending on motivation. The first and biggest secret of staying motivated is to stop depending on motivation. This sounds strange, but it is the truth. Most people fail, not because they lack dreams, but because they depend on motivation to act. They wait for motivation to start. They wait for motivation to continue. They wait for motivation to finish. But motivation is an emotion. Emotions are not stable. Emotions rise and fall. Some days we feel high energy. Some days we feel tired. Some days we feel excited. Some days we feel frustrated. If we depend on motivation, then our life becomes unstable. We work when we feel good, and we stop when we feel bad. This is why people start strong, but end weak. This is why people join the gym in January, but quit by February. This is why people start studying before exams, but stop after exams. This is why people start writing, practicing, learning, but give up after a few days. Not because they were weak, but because they depended on motivation. 1. Motivation is a spark, not fuel. Motivation is great for starting. It gives energy. It gives excitement. It gives hope. But motivation cannot carry us to the finish line. It is like a matchstick. It creates fire for a moment, but if there is no fuel, the fire dies. Fuel is discipline, habits, and systems. If we only use motivation without fuel, the fire will not last. 2. The 99% wait for motivation. The 1% build habits. The 99% say, "I will do it when I feel motivated," so they keep waiting. The 1% say, "I will do it even when I am not motivated," so they keep moving. The 99% depend on emotion. The 1% depend on discipline. Discipline means I will do it because it is important, not because I feel like it. This is why the 1% stay consistent. 3. How motivation behaves in real life. Motivation is like weather, sometimes sunny, sometimes cloudy, sometimes rainy. We cannot control weather, but we can control how we prepare for it. We cannot control motivation, but we can build a system for action, because action should not depend on mood. Mood changes every hour. Action should not. 4. Why depending on motivation creates guilt. When motivation dies, people stop. When people stop, they feel guilty. They say, "I am lazy, I am weak, I have no willpower." But they are none of these. They simply misunderstood motivation. Motivation is not constant. Expecting it to be constant creates disappointment. 5. Motivation is a bonus, not the foundation. We must treat motivation as a bonus, not a requirement. If motivation is there, great, we work faster. If motivation is not there, we still work. This is how champions, athletes, entrepreneurs, creators, and successful people operate. They do not rely on motivation. They rely on systems. Systems create consistency. Consistency creates results. Results create confidence. Confidence creates motivation. This is the real cycle. 6. Replace "I need motivation" with "I need a system." We should ask ourselves, I don't have motivation. Do I have a system? A system means a fixed time, a fixed environment, a clear plan, a small habit, a trigger. Example: every morning at 7 a.m. I study for 30 minutes at my desk with no phone. That is a system. A system beats motivation every single time. 7. Tiny actions create big motivation. Motivation does not come before action. Motivation comes after action. When we start something small, we feel progress. Progress creates motivation. Example: we say, "I don't feel like studying," but we study for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we feel motivated to continue. This is because action creates momentum. Momentum creates motivation. This is the opposite of what most people believe. 8. Action over feeling. A powerful rule. Don't ask how you feel. Ask what you need to do. Because feelings are temporary. Actions are permanent. If we follow our feelings, we become slaves of mood. If we follow our actions, we become leaders of life. To stay motivated all the time, we must stop depending on motivation. We must understand motivation starts action. Systems continue action. Discipline completes action. Motivation is not the foundation. Motivation is the spark. The foundation is systems, habits, discipline, consistency. This is the first step in how to stay motivated all the time. Part 2. Build systems, not moods. If we want to stay motivated all the time, we must learn how to build systems instead of chasing moods. Moods change every day. Systems stay every day. Moods are emotional. Systems are logical. Moods depend on feelings. Systems depend on structure. This is why successful people do not ask, "Do I feel motivated today?" They ask, "What does my system say today?" 1. What is a system? A system is a fixed structure that makes action automatic. A system tells the brain, at this time, in this place, we do this activity. Example, system time. Every morning at 6:30 a.m. Place at my study desk. Action. Read for 20 minutes. Rule. No phone until reading is done. This is how systems work. Systems remove confusion. Systems remove thinking. Systems remove excuses because the action becomes non-negotiable. 2. Why systems are stronger than motivation. Motivation says, "I don't feel like working." System says it is time to work. Motivation says, "Maybe later." System says, "Now." Motivation depends on mood. System depends on schedule. Mood is weak. Schedule is strong. This is why athletes train daily, even when they are tired. This is why writers write daily, even when they are uninspired. This is why students who follow routines perform better than students who study randomly. Systems create stability. 3. Systems reduce mental load. When we don't have a system, the mind asks hundreds of questions. When should I start? How long should I work? What should I do first? Where should I do it? Should I do it now or later? This creates decision fatigue. Decision fatigue kills motivation. Systems remove decisions. When time and place are fixed, the mind stops negotiating. It simply follows. 4. Systems turn hard tasks into normal tasks. Studying for 2 hours feels hard when it is random, but studying at the same time every day feels normal. Going to the gym feels difficult when it depends on mood, but going every day at the same hour feels routine. Systems remove discomfort. Routine creates comfort. 5. How to build a basic motivation system. To build a system, we need a fixed time. Choose a specific time, not later. Example, 6 a.m. reading, 8 p.m. gym, 9 p.m. study session. Time creates discipline. B. Fixed place. Same place equals same action. Example, desk for studying, table for reading, bench for writing. Place creates association. C. Fixed duration. Short and clear. Example, study 30 minutes. Read 20 minutes. Practice 1 hour. Duration creates structure. D. Fixed cue trigger. A small event before action. Example: make tea, start reading, wear shoes, go for walk, sit at desk, start writing. Triggers make habits automatic. 6. The 3-minute rule. When the brain resists, use the 3-minute rule. Just do it for 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, momentum takes over. This rule is powerful because it removes fear. It reduces overwhelm. It activates action. It bypasses excuses. Motivation often appears after starting, not before starting. 7. Systems make motivation predictable. Most people think motivation is random, but with systems, motivation becomes predictable because when action becomes consistent, results become visible. When results become visible, motivation becomes stronger. Therefore, system action results motivation, not motivation action. This is the real path. 8. Systems protect motivation from chaos. Life is full of chaos, stress, mood swings, distractions, laziness, overthinking. Systems protect action during chaos. Even when mood is bad, system still runs. Even when tired, system still runs. Even when bored, system still runs. This is power. 9. Think like a designer, not like a dreamer. Dreamers say, I want to achieve this. Designers say, what system will achieve this? Dreamers wait. Designers build. Dreamers depend on feelings. Designers depend on structure. If we want to become consistent, we must become designers. Part 3. Use identity-based motivation, the strongest kind. Most people try to stay motivated by changing their actions. But truly successful people stay motivated by changing their identity. This is one of the most powerful concepts in psychology and behavior science. Identity-based motivation means we do something because it matches who we are, not because of mood, not because of feelings, not because of pressure, but because it is part of our identity. Example: a person who identifies as a runner will run even when tired. A person who identifies as a writer will write even without inspiration. A person who identifies as a learner will study even when not motivated. Identity is stronger than motivation. Identity creates consistency. 1. Why identity matters more than goals. Most people set goals like, I want to lose weight, I want to study more, I want to read every day, I want to earn more. But goals are outside. Identity is inside. Goals say, I want to achieve this. Identity says, this is who I am. When identity is strong, action becomes automatic. If we want to stay motivated all the time, we must focus more on who we are becoming instead of what we are achieving. 2. Identity-based motivation versus achievement-based motivation. Achievement-based motivation. I will study because I want good marks. Problem: after exams are over, motivation ends. Identity-based motivation. I study because I am a person who values learning. This motivation never ends. Identity gives long-term motivation. 3. Identity creates behavior. Identity drives behavior like this. Identity leads to beliefs. Beliefs lead to actions. Actions lead to results. Example identity. I am a disciplined person. Belief. Disciplined people do tasks on time. Action. Studying consistently. Result. Good marks plus confidence. When we change identity, we change results. 4. The 99% say, I want to become. The 1% say, I am becoming. The 99% use distant language. I want to become fit. I want to become skilled. I want to become confident. The 1% use identity language. I am the type of person who takes care of my body. I am the type of person who learns daily. I am the type of person who speaks confidently. Identity language creates internal motivation. 5. How identity removes excuses. When identity is strong, excuses become weak. Example. If someone identifies as a healthy person, they don't need motivation to make healthy choices. If someone identifies as a creator, they don't need hype to create. Identity makes behavior natural. 6. Start with, I am the type of person who, to build identity-based motivation. We don't need to change everything overnight. We just change our self-talk. Instead of saying, I am lazy, I am weak, I am not disciplined, I always quit, we say, I am the type of person who improves daily. I am the type of person who keeps learning. I am the type of person who respects time. I am the type of person who shows up. This is not lying. This is designing a new identity. Identity is a choice. 7. Identity is built through repeated action. Identity is not built in one day. Identity is built through small repeated actions. Example. If we read for 5 minutes every day, the brain says, I am a reader. If we exercise for 10 minutes every day, the brain says, I am a healthy person. If we study consistently, the brain says, I am a disciplined student. Small actions build identity. Identity builds motivation. Motivation builds results. 8. Identity changes how we see ourselves. Most people struggle with motivation because they see themselves wrongly. They say, I am not good enough. I cannot do this. I always fail. I have no willpower. This destroys internal motivation. But when identity changes, self-image changes. Self-image is the engine of motivation. If we see ourselves as capable, we act capable. If we see ourselves as weak, we act weak. Identity controls self-image. 9. Identity creates long-term motivation. External motivation lasts for hours. Internal motivation lasts for life. Identity-based motivation is internal. It is not dependent on YouTube videos, music, someone's speech, temporary hype. Identity motivation comes from inside. Inside motivation is stable. Part 4. Use progress-based motivation, not perfection. One of the biggest reasons motivation dies is perfection. Most people do not lose motivation because they are weak. They lose motivation because they expect perfection. They want perfect results, perfect timing, perfect routine, perfect discipline, perfect conditions, perfect performance. But life is not perfect. Progress is not perfect. Growth is not perfect. Perfection kills motivation. Progress builds motivation. This is why successful people focus on progress, not perfection. 1. Perfection creates pressure. Progress creates freedom. When we chase perfection, we feel stressed, afraid, nervous, overwhelmed, because perfection asks for everything. But progress asks for something. Progress says, just move forward. This creates freedom and peace. 2. The 99% judge themselves. The 1% measure themselves. When things go wrong, the 99% say, I am useless. I always fail. I am not disciplined. This is too hard. But the 1% measure, what went well? What didn't go well? What can I do better tomorrow? Measurement creates improvement. Judgment creates shame. Shame kills motivation. Improvement builds motivation. 3. Progress is built on tiny wins. Tiny wins are small victories that look simple but are powerful. For example, reading 5 pages, studying 20 minutes, exercising 10 minutes, drinking more water, waking up earlier, saving small money, cleaning workspace. These actions look small, but small actions repeated daily equals massive results. Motivation comes from seeing progress, not from achieving perfection. 4. Why perfection destroys consistency. Perfection says, if I cannot do 1 hour, I won't do at all. Progress says, if I can do 10 minutes, that's enough for today. Perfection says, if I missed 1 day, I have failed. Progress says, if I missed 1 day, I will continue tomorrow. Perfection wants all or nothing. Progress wants something over nothing. All or nothing mindset makes people quit. Something over nothing mindset makes people grow. 5. Progress-based motivation uses the 2-minute principle. The 2-minute principle says, if it takes less than 2 minutes to start, do it now. Example, put on shoes, 10 seconds. Open book, 5 seconds. Fill water bottle, 20 seconds. Clean desk, 1 minute. The hardest part is not doing. The hardest part is starting. Starting creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. 6. Progress gives visible proof to the brain. The brain loves proof. When the brain sees check marks, streaks, tracking, small improvements, finished pages, completed workouts, it releases dopamine. Dopamine builds motivation. That is why tracking progress works better than watching motivational videos, because the brain says, I am improving. I can continue. 7. How to track progress. Simple methods. We don't need complicated tracking systems. Use simple trackers like a notebook, a calendar, a habit app, a checklist, a whiteboard. Track things like days exercised, pages read, minutes studied, money saved, skills practiced, water consumed. Tracking shows progress. Progress increases motivation. 8. Progress is not linear. Most people quit because they expect straight-line progress. But real progress looks like up and down, forward and backward, but still moving forward. The 99% quit during the dips. The 1% continue through the dips, because dips are part of growth. 9. Celebrate small wins. Most people ignore small victories. They wait for big achievements. But big achievements only happen after hundreds of small wins. Celebrating small wins builds confidence, identity, energy, motivation. If we finish a 20-minute study session, say, "Good job." If we drink more water today, say, "Good job." If we improved even 1%, say, "Good job." Small praise equals big motivation. 10. Key message of Part 4. To stay motivated all the time, we must choose progress, not perfection. Because perfection creates stress. Stress kills motivation. Motivation dies. We quit. But progress creates movement. Movement creates momentum. Momentum creates motivation. So ask daily, am I better than yesterday by at least 1%? If the answer is yes, we are winning. Because in the end, success is not built in one leap. Success is built in 1% improvements. This is the 4th step in how to stay motivated all the time. Part 5. Protect motivation from negativity and energy leaks. Even if we have identity, even if we have systems, even if we make progress, motivation can still die if we do not protect it. Motivation is like a flame. Even a strong flame can be killed if cold wind keeps hitting it. Negativity is that cold wind. If we want to stay motivated all the time, we must learn how to protect our flame. 1. Motivation needs energy. Motivation is not just a mindset. Motivation is also energy. When energy is low, motivation becomes weak. Energy comes from sleep, food, movement, environment, emotions, people, mindset, self-talk. If any of these is out of balance, motivation suffers. So, first we must learn to protect energy. 2. Remove negative environment. Environment affects motivation more than we think. A messy room steals energy. A noisy place steals focus. A chaotic environment steals clarity. So we must keep our workspace clean, our room organized, our surroundings calm. A clean environment supports motivation. A chaotic environment destroys it. 3. Protect motivation from negative people. Some people do not add energy, they remove energy. They criticize, they complain, they doubt, they discourage, they gossip. These are energy leaks. We must learn to keep distance from constant complainers, negative thinkers, gossip spreaders, jealous people, dream killers, pessimists. Not because we hate them, but because we value our energy. We cannot grow in toxic soil. 4. Avoid social comparison. Comparison destroys peace, confidence, motivation. When we compare, we forget our journey. The truth is, everyone has a different timeline. Some succeed early, some succeed later. But comparison makes us feel behind, even when we are making progress. So instead of comparing with others, we compare with yesterday's self. That is the only meaningful comparison. 5. Protect motivation from digital noise. Digital noise is a modern energy leak. Too much scrolling, notifications, news, ads, content, messages, reels, posts kills focus and motivation. It steals our attention and gives nothing useful in return. We must control screen time, social apps, notifications, digital distractions. Technology should serve us, not control us. 6. Protect sleep and rest. Many people think motivation dies because of laziness. But sometimes motivation dies because of exhaustion. The brain cannot stay motivated when sleep is low, rest is missing, stress is high, body is tired. Rest is not luxury. Rest is fuel. Sleep repairs the mind, and a repaired mind can stay motivated. 7. Watch your self-talk. The mind believes what we repeatedly say. Negative self-talk kills motivation. I can't do this. I am not good enough. I always fail. I am too slow. This is useless. No one believes in me. We must replace this with I am learning. I am improving. I am becoming better. I can handle this. I deserve success. I am growing every day. Self-talk is fuel. Use it wisely. 8. Protect motivation from perfection pressure. Perfection says, if it's not perfect, don't do it. This kills motivation. We must allow imperfect action. Imperfect action builds momentum. Momentum builds motivation. 9. Protect motivation from overcommitment. Doing too much destroys motivation. Being overwhelmed destroys motivation. We must avoid doing everything at once. Focus on one main project, one main skill, one main habit. Clear focus gives energy. Confused focus removes energy. 10. Key message of Part 5. Motivation is not only about pushing forward, but also about protecting what we already built. Motivation leaks through negative people, negative environment, digital noise, comparison, overthinking, overcommitment. Part 6. Restart motivation after failure. The comeback formula. Even if we have great motivation, even if we have strong systems, even if we have identity and progress, there will be moments when we fall down. We will fail. We will break routines. We will lose consistency. We will miss deadlines. We will feel disappointed. This is normal. This is expected. This is part of growth. But most people lose motivation permanently, not because of failure, but because of how they respond to failure. Failure is not the problem. Reaction to failure is. If we learn how to restart after failure, we can stay motivated all the time. 1. The 99% quit because they misunderstand failure. Most people believe, if I failed once, I cannot do it. This belief kills motivation. But the truth is, failure is simply feedback. Feedback means something needs improvement. Failure doesn't say we are weak. Failure says we are learning. 2. Failure is not the opposite of success. Most people think success arrow failure, but the truth is, success arrow giving up. Failure is actually a part of success. Every successful person has failed. Students fail tests before they master subjects. Athletes lose games before they become champions. Entrepreneurs fail businesses before they succeed. Creators fail ideas before they go viral. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is the teacher. 3. The cycle of restart. Every time we fail, 3 things happen. 1. We feel bad. 2. We slow down. 3. We choose one of 2 paths. Path A, quit completely. Path B, restart after learning. The 99% choose path A. The 1% choose path B. 4. The comeback formula. To restart motivation after failure, we follow this simple formula. Step 1. Forgive yourself. Don't waste energy blaming yourself. Blame never creates improvement. Say to yourself, I am human. I can continue. Forgiveness creates mental space. Step 2. Lower the difficulty. When we fail, we must not restart with full intensity. We restart small. Example, if we miss the gym for 20 days, we don't restart with a 1-hour workout. We restart with 10 minutes. Small restart removes fear and builds momentum. Step 3. Identify what broke. Failure always has a reason. Maybe sleep was bad, schedule was unrealistic, system was weak, environment was chaotic, pressure was high, emotions were heavy, health was low. Once we identify the reason, we can fix the system. Step 4. Change the system, not the dream. When most people fail, they change goals. Example, I failed this subject, so I will change my dream. But the 1% do not change dreams. They change systems. Systems are adjustable. Dreams are valuable. Step 5. Restart immediately. The biggest enemy of motivation is delay. The longer we wait to restart, the harder restarting becomes. Restarting immediately creates momentum, confidence, clarity, motivation. Instead of saying, I will restart next week, say, I will restart today, even if it is small. 5. Use failure as fuel. Most people use failure as a reason to quit. Successful people use failure as motivation. They say, "This mistake taught me something. I am stronger because of this. I will not repeat this next time." Failure becomes fuel instead of fear. 6. Failure adds power to identity. Every time we come back from failure, identity becomes stronger. Our brain says, "I don't quit easily. I fix what is broken. I return stronger. I am consistent." This creates internal motivation. 7. The 2-day rule to protect motivation long term. Many successful people use the 2-day rule. Never miss something more than 2 days. If we miss gym for 2 days, go on day 3. If we miss study for 2 days, study on day 3. If we miss practice for 2 days, practice on day 3. This rule prevents quitting. Missing 1 day equals normal. Missing 2 days equals danger zone. Missing 3 days equals habit broken. 8. The truth about motivation after failure. Here is the deep truth. Motivation increases by surviving failure. Anyone can stay motivated when things are easy. Real motivation appears when things are hard. So failure is not the end of motivation. Failure is the test of motivation. 9. Key message of Part 6. To stay motivated all the time, we must learn how to restart. Because motivation is not about never falling. Motivation is about rising again. Remember, winners are not people who never fail. Winners are people who never quit. If we forgive ourselves, restart small, fix the system, learn from feedback, take action immediately, then failure becomes a tool, not a barrier. Before we end this video, remember one powerful truth. Motivation is not something we wait for. Motivation is something we build. We build it through our habits, our identity, our progress, and our systems. We protect it from negativity, from comparison, from distraction, and from energy leaks. And when we fall, we do not quit. We restart. We learn. We adjust, and we continue. Because real motivation is not about feeling excited every day. If we become the type of person who takes small actions, who protects energy, who builds identity, who respects time, and who comes back after failure, then staying motivated will not be a struggle. It will become a lifestyle. If this video inspired you, like this video, share it with someone who needs motivation, and subscribe for more motivational graded reader lessons. And remember, motivation is not a moment. Motivation is a mindset. We will see you in the next.